Episode number 5. Welcome back to our podcast about all things real estate related and probably a little bit of life related stuff too. We appreciate all of you so far in the feedback you've been giving to us. We talked to a couple of you and you wanted to hear a little bit more about the flips and the remodels and that side of real estate rather than just houses out there, because frankly those are a dime a dozen. So today we've got a story about a referral from a past client of ours. They all lived out of state. Their mom lived here, and she ended up passing away. So they're all out of state, and they called me to say, hey, what can we do? Can we get this house listed? Can we sell this? How much do you think we can sell it for? So I was able to go to the house actually and check it out. We were able to get it rekeyed and go in there. The house was very outdated. The carpet had to be original from the 1960s. Wallpaper all around the ceilings.
Correction. Painted over wallpaper.
Well, yeah.
It was special.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Long story short, the house needed quite a bit of work. And so I came to him and I said, here's a few solutions for you. One, we can list it on the market as a traditional listing and see what we can get out there. There was some requirements about who we were going to be able to sell it to. So our buyer pool was fairly small. Mm-hmm. I said option number 2 is we get an investor offer, someone that's going to buy it. You know that they're going to buy it, come in, remodel it, flip it, sell it for more. And he was very open to option number 2. I explained kind of through that, and he had talked to his brothers and sisters, and they wanted to see about that route. So we went through and we collected about 4 to 5 investor offers for them, and were able to show them what an investor would be willing to buy it for. And then we were able to give them our investor offer as well, as us as the investors. Yeah. What we would be able to pay for cash for the home, what kind of our plan was, what we would do, and walk them through that. Trust is such a key factor here. Yes. It helped in this one again. We were able to guarantee him that we would be able to close on the home and that we would take good care of it. It helped that we were like-minded. We had friends that were in common, in things that there was a relationship kind of already pre-built in there. And so that gave him a ton of trust in us to make it happen. So we were able to give him a very competitive offer. We didn't make gobs and gobs of money on that one. We probably should have offered a little bit less. But hindsight's 20/20, and you run into some problems that can't always be foreseen. Yeah. So those numbers always fluctuate. You might think you're going to make this amount of money, and you actually make less. In that case, this one happened like that. So why don't you tell them a little bit more?
Yeah, and we like to, when we come into a property to remodel it and to flip it, we like to be very hands-on and to make sure that things are done properly and to our standard, because we don't want to rip anybody off with shoddy work, because that just goes against...
No cut corners.
Yeah, it just goes against our morals, and who wants to be treated like that? So we're pretty hands-on when it comes to overseeing a lot of the stuff that is being remodeled on the property. So for this one in particular, I happen to be 4 to 5 months pregnant with my second child. And so my limitations for what I could kind of oversee were a little bit more limited.
She could do a very good job overseeing and managing.
Yes, but if something dropped on the floor, somebody else would need to pick it up for me. But one thing that I really remember about this property was I really wanted to change the hinges on the kitchen cabinets, because I wanted to update them, make them a little bit more modern, with that sleek black matte look. And so I did this while I was 4 to 5 months pregnant, getting up there on a ladder, not exactly recommended. But I wanted to make sure that it was done so that it looked nice. And that was a lot of fun to just kind of see the transformation in that little thing that I could do for the property.
Yeah. Demo work is always so cool when you come into those, because you're tearing everything out. You're tearing the carpet up. You're tearing the old flooring up. You're getting down to the concrete, sometimes even to the studs. You're removing whole bathroom vanities to go ahead and have someone install bathroom vanities. And in this one, we did all new vanity tops We did all new kitchen countertops in there. So we did a lot on this one. Possibly a little too much. Maybe we could have saved a little bit.
We spent a little too much money. But you know what? It looked very nice.
It did. And it's a learning experience on every house that we go through. But the funny thing about this one was we had the flooring all installed. We had some luxury vinyl planking put in throughout the house, which if you know the luxury vinyl planking, luckily it is the vinyl, so it's not... it doesn't absorb any kind of water. And so I'm there one night after just checking everything to make sure the installers did a good job, and they had gotten the kitchen all done, and we had the water shut off for the past few days because there was some plumbing work that was getting done. I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn the water back on. I need to wash a couple things, wash my hands. They were kind of dirty.
And I was pregnant, so most likely I had to pee. So
well,
that's probably why the water was turned back on.
That could have been a possibility too. So I go out back to turn the water on, and I kick it on, and all of a sudden I hear water gushing. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So I run inside, and I see water spewing out of the cabinet below the sink, and I'm like, oh, bleep. Crap. I run back outside, I shut the water back off, I come back in. The water line for the fridge had not got hooked back up underneath the sink. So if you guys know, the valve underneath the sink has a valve for the water line and a valve for the kitchen sink. That had not been shut off, just the water main. So it was blowing water everywhere out of the line for the fridge. It got all over the flooring. Luckily, again, vinyl. So we had to go in and remove all the flooring that was in the kitchen, everywhere the water had got to, dry all the panels, dry all the cement, dry the cabinets up. It was a rather costly oversight error and mistake on my part. In the moment we can, or not in the moment, but now we can look back and laugh at it.
For sure.
In the moment, I was pissed. We had like one towel in the house at the time.
It was like 8 p.m. at night. So
yeah,
I had
really
to run to Home Depot and buy a ton of paper towels.
Yeah, and towels.
And then I had to run to Walmart and buy a ton of towels because we had to soak up all this water in order to salvage the floor.
Yeah.
To make sure that nothing got damaged and there were no long-term consequences due to the water leak.
Yeah, I think we had one towel in there and maybe 2 rolls of paper towels. So while she went to Home Depot and Walmart, I started pulling the flooring all back up, and then we had to have it get reinstalled afterwards once everything was dried, and it took a couple days to air everything out so there was no mold or mildew or anything like that. Yeah, a little bit of a timing delay on that, but definitely whenever you shut the water off, if you disconnect anything, this is what I learned. Write a note and stick it on the water main. That way when you go to turn the water back on, you're like, oh man, did I hook the fridge water line back up? No, I don't think I did. That way you don't flood your entire kitchen like I did.
Yeah. Sometimes you learn the hard way, and we definitely tend to kind of do that occasionally.
Yeah, very much so. You got to learn one way or another, right?
That's true.
But in the end of it, we were able to find a wonderful buyer that was able to come in. He was super excited about the place. We were able to make a little bit of money for our time, efforts, and just flipping. Obviously, that's the goal, right? When you flip something, you want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
So we've been very blessed to be successful in those ways and make money. And the seller was super, super happy. We were able to purchase it from him, get him what he needed. We were able to sell it to someone, and that buyer was super happy. So look at that, a win-win-win.
Yep, for sure.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you coming along on our wild journeys. Anything you want to say at the end?
Join us next time for some other crazy real estate stories that Quinn is going to elaborate on.
There you go. We'll see you guys then.